Mom gives birth to quadruplets, then doctors look at their faces and see it. When a routine ultrasound revealed not one, but 4 babies, newlyweds Bethany and Tim Webb of Alberta, Canada were left speechless. Married for less than a year, Bethany and Tim could do little more than stare in disbelief when faced with the ultrasound report. "I could not believe it, I was in such shock," Bethany told CBC News. "Honestly, I thought the ultrasound tech was joking." Initially, the Canadians were happy when they discovered that they were expecting. However, they were completely unprepared for quadruplets. And if finding out you're pregnant with quads isn't impossible enough, there would be an even crazier surprise waiting for her when the expecting mom finally made it to the delivery room and laid eyes on the 4 little ones for the first time. Before their lives were turned upside down, there really wasn't anything too out of the ordinary for the young couple. Bethany, 22, and Tim Webb, 23, exchanged vows in June, and like many normal couples very much in love, they started thinking about having children. In fact, they were thrilled when they found out in September that they were expecting. "My husband definitely wanted to wait a year," Bethany told CBC News. "I was fine with whenever it ended up happening, but when we found out we were very excited, only thinking then we were having 1, not 4. The day before Christmas Eve 2015, the first time parents attended a routine scan. That's when they were given their first peek into their eventual future. When the nurse asked if there was any history of multiple births in either of their families that the couple knew of, they were understandably caught off guard. Still uncertain of what multiple births would really mean for them, the couple shook their heads no. It was then that the nurse delivered some unexpected and unbelievable news. During the ultrasound, Bethany said she saw the technicians looking and pointing at 2 different areas of the screen. She had therefore assumed that she was going to have twins. She turned the screen and she started counting babies, and she counted baby 1, baby 2, baby 3. "I was thinking, okay, you can stop at baby 3. Baby 3 is enough," and she counted out the 4th baby, Bethany reported to Canada's Global News. "That's when I just about fell over," Tim added. "I definitely did go through some panic attacks," Bethany admitted. While they had originally planned to start a family slowly, all of that changed in seconds right before their eyes. In one day, their small family of 2 tripled. Realizing the full gravity of the situation, their joy and excitement were suddenly replaced with panic. "That day with the ultrasound, when they counted the 4, I actually felt quite faint and I had to ask for a seat because it was just too much all at once," Tim recalled. As there was no family history of multiple births in Bethany and Tim's families, and the couple did not use fertility drugs or in vitro fertilization to conceive their children, the news of their pregnancy is even more astounding. The doctors said it's just something that happens. It doesn't happen all the time, it's very, very rare. As of 2007, there were approximately 3,500 sets of quadruplets recorded worldwide. "I'm definitely glad I was laying down because I could not believe that there were 4 there. I thought there had to be some kind of mistake," she laughed. One of the nurses that works at the hospital said it was a 1 in 67 million occurrence. Without a doubt, the Webbs had more than what they could handle. As a result, Tim's mom has offered to house them to give them a helping hand or 2. But help didn't stop there, as you might have imagined. The people of Hythe, Alberta, the tiny Canadian town of 820, were lining up to offer their support. The community held a fundraiser which brought in approximately $50,000, and there's a GoFundMe site set up by friends, Tim told the National Post. Completely blessed and overwhelmed, the Webbs even had to start stockpiling additional supplies and reserves in a local church. Bethany confessed that while she was excited for the babies, the notion of how much they would need to care for them is overwhelming. "After all, 4 times the love means 4 times the cost. I realized that we didn't have a vehicle that could support 4 babies," Bethany said. "We were good until that 4 number kicked in, then we weren't prepared at all," Tim added. The soon-to-be parents of 4 were planning on staying in their 1-bedroom apartment after having their first baby, but since learning they were to become a family of 6, they have had to consider other options, including moving in with Tim's mother. Going from 1 to 4 is like 4 times everything. For strollers, for car seats, for cribs. Diapers. Diapers everywhere, Bethany lamented. Diapers and formula, that's probably going to be the most expensive part for us right now. The Webbs calculated that they would need approximately 48 diapers a day now once their daughters arrive. So whose responsibility will it be to change all those bottoms? Hers. Tim exclaimed. I have a weak stomach. I can't change diapers. Despite having to completely reinvent their lives from the bottom up, the pregnancy was going quite well. Considering that the Webbs are from the village of Hythe, which isn't equipped with a large hospital, doctors had advised that she be transferred to the state-of-the-art Royal Alexandra Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm excited, but it is weird when they start moving. Sometimes I'll feel more than one move at once and it kind of takes me by surprise, even being 27 weeks pregnant. I don't think it's sunk in that there's for there yet, said the happy mother-to-be. The doctors couldn't let her go full term, as it could jeopardize the baby's health. To avoid complications, she would need a C-section at the 33-week mark. I'm definitely nervous about the birth, but I'm also really excited to see them, she said. Just in time for Mother's Day, and only weeks before their very first wedding anniversary, the Webbs became an instant family. This was an anniversary gift that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. Tim told Global News, it was kind of like a magic show, because they're pulling out 1, 2, 3, 4. It was kind of surreal. Yet the true magic didn't become apparent until the girls were laid side by side. What the doctor told the Webbs next changed the odds of this pregnancy from 1 in 15 million to something even more impossible. So not only had the Webbs already won the baby lottery by getting quadruplets, but miraculously they ended up being all girls. And if those 1 in over 15 million odds weren't astronomically small to begin with, just wait until you read this. Incredibly, all 4 newborn girls were all identical. It only took about an hour to deliver the babies, who ranged in weight from 3 pounds to 4 pounds 1 ounce. Tim, I'm sorry, but your dreams of raising a son are going to have to wait, because you're about to live in a house full of girls. Living with 5 girls. Yikes. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be overwhelming, being the last man standing. But then, on Friday, May 6th, as each of the girls arrived, and were lined up next to each other, everyone was stunned. With the high-risk nature of the pregnancy, there was always talk that there was some risk of delivering very early, said Dr. Billy Wong, the couple's obstetrician. For us to get to this date in the pregnancy, almost 33 weeks, we were actually very fortunate. The Webbs say they have an extensive support system back in Hythe, where everyone is waiting for the new family to arrive home. The relieved dad said, according to the Edmonton Journal, I feel overwhelmingly awesome that the babies are here. I feel blessed. Relieved too, because you worry with multiple births. There's risks, but all of it was perfect. And now, we are proud to present the little girls who were 1 in 15 million, Emily, Grace, Michaela and Abigail. So the downsides of having quadruplets clearly means quadruple the trouble, but you at least get one nice perk to it all. It was nice that we didn't have to pick our favorites, Bethany told Global News. We could pick 4 we liked, we didn't have to choose just one. Now Tim and Bethany have a new problem. How do they tell them apart? To make things a bit easier, differentiate one quadruplet from the others. Immediately after the birth, each girl was placed in her own tiny incubator. Just don't take them out of the incubator. Speaking to CTV News, Bethany revealed, right now I'm glad they're separated so we can tell them apart. But even just holding 2 side by side, I can't tell them apart at all. Soon enough, however, our new family is going to have to come up with a solid plan to distinguish the girls from one another. Luckily for new mom Bethany, their individual temperaments couldn't be more different from each other. Certainly, that will be the most distinguishing factor in telling them apart. Abigail is the smallest and youngest, so she is a bit hot-headed. I'd watch out for that one. Emily and Michaela are apparently super chill, however Grace, on the other hand, is described as a character. And yet, now that they're all home and a bit more relaxed, the couple has hatched a makeshift plan to differentiate between each girl. Each girl will get a designated color-coded bracelet or hair accessory, as if they even have hair at this stage. They've also considered painting their toenails as a more semi-permanent solution. Bethany Webb was a bundle of nerves one evening in early June. That's because the next morning, her 2-month-old identical quadruplet girls would have their very first photo shoot. I was nervous that they wouldn't sleep, and they'd be awake the whole time, or crying and fussy, Webb, who lives in Alberta, Canada, tells Us Weekly. But they did so good. The project took much more planning and assistance than photographer Cassandra Jones was used to. 5 extra people helped her set up the shoot, 1 person per baby and 1 person to help arrange the flowers and props. It took 3 large vehicles to haul all the items needed to the outdoor location in Grande Prairie. Obviously, feeding, changing and caring for 4 babies is an incredible task, but photographing them so perfectly wasn't easy either. Photographer Cassandra Jones was blown away by the infants. There were absolutely no tears, she told Today parents. In fact, they didn't even raise an eyelid. They slept like little angels for the entire shoot. The girls' knit hats and wraps were custom-made specifically for the shoot. Jones chose white outfits so that she could coordinate all of the different hats without having to change the babies and risk waking them up, she said. Meanwhile, the tiny sisters are already confounding adults. They may be just 2 months old, but sisters Abigail, Michaela, Grace and Emily Webb have already managed to steal the hearts of thousands. The photos from the shoot have since gone viral with more than 5,000 likes. Jones admits she and her assistants did struggle to tell the girls apart, however. The pictures she took are absolutely beautiful, and I love them so much, Bethany smiled. Since the girls are identical, the parents came up with a solution to help them identify their daughters. Each baby has her toenails painted a different color than her sisters. As for a more permanent solution, Mom Bethany revealed that they recently had the girls' ears pierced, and each wears a different color of stone: purple for Emily, red for Grace, blue for Abigail, and pink for Michaela. Each baby has her own distinct personality as well. Abigail is the feisty one, Emily's usually pretty quiet, Grace is the one that is most sensitive to pain, and Michaela is a combination of all of them. She can be feisty but is also calm and collected. All 4 girls share a regular-size crib. They like sleeping together, they don't like being apart, says Webb. If we separate them, they're not happy. Bethany said Tim was ecstatic about becoming a dad, but still needed to get used to the idea of being the only man in a house of 5 females. I think my husband has gotten used to the idea that there are 4 babies, but I don't think he's gotten used to the idea that there are 4 identical girls, the mom-to-be laughed. As for the dad-to-be, I think of them as blessings really. I'll probably be pulling my hair out a year from now, but now I'm excited. My dad passed away just about a year ago, and so this is kind of a blessing to have the family that I have and the community that I have and the doctors that we have here, he said. The chance of having quadruplets without fertility drugs is 1 in 729,000, Dr. James Bofill, a professor of maternal fetal medicine at the University of Mississippi, told Today when he treated a Mississippi woman who gave birth to quadruplets in 2014. But the odds of having identical quadruplets are about 1 in 15 million pregnancies, according to Raising Multiples. The Webb babies are the 5th set of quadruplets born in Alberta since 2004. As the High-Risk Obstetric and Maternal Care Center for Northern Alberta, last year the LHHW delivered 240 sets of twins and 6 sets of triplets. I'm looking forward to the memories and how close they'll all be, proud dad Tim told Global News. Bethany, a bit more weary, added, "It's going to be crazy the first few years. But it'll be very exciting."